This week on Across the Arrowverse, literal xenophobia, Russian Supergirl, and other stuff happens. We're watching Supergirl Season 4, Episodes 1 to 8. Hi everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Matthew Vose, and I'm joined by Catherine Vose.
Hey everybody, how are you doing?
So, we are going to start Supergirl Season 4. This is episodes 1 through 8. They all had titles. Half the titles were puns. I do not have notes on the titles.
I have a few of the titles written down, but I don't think that's that important.
No.
I don't think seeing as we're not going to go through each episode one by one, we're more going to talk about sort of the general themes of the season.
Absolutely.
Let's put the episode titles behind us.
Absolutely. The only one that stands out is Man of Steel. And it did make me wonder, did they make Lockwood's family running a steel company so they could do that pun? Because that's the nickname for Superman, of course.
Yeah, well, indeed.
Yeah.
Interesting, but that was a very gentle touch because it totally passed me by.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, do you have any general impressions of the season so far?
I think a general impression is I found it very interesting how much they're trying to sort of link the themes of the season to current real life discussions happening in the world.
It's very topical, even more so than in previous seasons. We saw them using lines like the "nevertheless she persisted" and using stuff that was influenced by the real world. This is actually saying we're going to take the sort of nationalist stories that are happening and apply them to this world and talk about them here.
Absolutely. Definitely that they're using it as a sort of, I think satire is probably the wrong word, but they're using Supergirl, I think, as a sort of
allegory
for to explore some of the challenges that we're facing in today's society.
I'd agree, which all good science fiction should do. So
but it's just not normally, or in recent years, I have not seen it done quite as heavy-handedly. Makes it sound like it's done badly, which I don't think it is. But overtly is probably the better phrase.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. They are saying this story about people not liking immigrants, we're going to apply it to this. In the same way the X-Men have always done it with kids being outsiders and what that means to possibly gay communities and AIDS communities and things like that. But this is, heavy-handed might be the right phrase, because actually it's not even disguising it as they're taking this plot and applying it. And I mean, we're getting into the first big plot here is the issue of racism and dealing with immigrants. Thus far, generally I feel like they're doing it in the it's ridiculous, everyone's a person, everyone should be treated well, but they are doing the other side of the story about the loss of jobs, the loss of opportunities, the impact of this in more of a measured way than I might have expected.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought that episode where they explored Ben Lockwood's descent into extremism was done very sympathetically. Yeah. Given that he is, or at the moment, is no longer a sympathetic character. I think he's fully in his descent into extremism and has descended and beyond radicalisation. Yep. But the fact that they treated it so sympathetically makes me wonder if he could potentially at some point end up coming back.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm going to loop back to that in a later discussion, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like they are leaning towards the more lefty view, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
Of everyone's a person, everyone should be treated well. And the show is Supergirl, it is following an alien, so that's the tone the show should go for. But that episode definitely did it very well. Yes. I think managed it.
Yeah, and I think they're showing that the general populace who follow the Children of Liberty viewpoint as people who are scared of the unknown and ignorant about the alien population, rather than people who are inherently evil.
Yeah.
Which I think is a more sympathetic approach than I would necessarily have seen previously.
I definitely agree with that. I think it's interesting where they've gone with the dogs, that dogs now just don't like aliens and hunt them out. I feel like that's happened very quickly.
Well, I got the impression they trained the dogs to see aliens.
Yeah.
But how?
Yeah, very quickly that happened, so...
And how have all these random people... I mean, there clearly is someone else in the background because of that episode when Ben was... towards the end, Ben was on the phone to someone going, no, I want to put away Liberty. I want to focus on Ben Lockwood and my TV show.
That's true. I hadn't noticed that.
So there is someone else above him.
Okay.
A shadowy figure in the background. So possibly there's someone else who has given them super special magic or super special science.
Yeah.
Luther? Someone?
Well...
Maybe? I don't know. That would be my guess. Do
you mean Lena?
No.
You're thinking Lex?
I'm thinking Lex or someone with connections to Lena's mum via Cadmus, like the Graves had. Yeah. Because otherwise, come on, all of these muggles would not have been able to train their dogs to suddenly spot an alien house by walking down the street. That's pretty high-tech
that is pretty good
stuff.
I have had my suspicions about Luther's becoming more of a part of the season because they keep mentioning it. They keep going to that well about how she's not from that family, but is trying to fight against it. We've had stuff with her mother. Like, they've been reminding us about the Luthers a lot, which has made me think this is going to be a thing. And I was wondering if it was Lena. But now you are making me think, if it was Lena, we would have seen a hint of her on the phone or something. Just something.
Absolutely.
More
and
explicit.
I think they give us a lot of insight into Lena's decision-making. Mm-hmm. So if she was behind all this, I think I would feel very cheated by the programme for giving us not the full picture.
Well, they'd be lying to us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, did we know before this season that Lena was adopted?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think they'd told us that before.
Yeah, because I mean, when she was having her little heart-to-heart with her test subject, Adam,
yeah.
Neil, was he Neil or Adam? Because I'm sure at some point he was called Neil.
No, I think it was just Adam. I think because we'll talk about that in a sec. I think there was a point about his name. Yeah.
Fair enough, but I did think. Is this just basically emotional exposition? Is this the whole point of having this guy to allow Lena to pour her heart out without talking to herself and looking like a nutter? You know?
The thing I found interesting about the racism against aliens plot is this is Supergirl's plot.
Yeah.
Thus far, she hasn't had romance. She's had a little bit of involvement with her friends, but more when they interact with her plot. But when I was making a list of all the main things we'd seen, they've not given her a thing to do outside of this. I don't know whether there's going to be more of her as a reporter and as a mentor, but very much this is the plot she's following, and everyone else is getting actually, I think, a little bit more to do than normal.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I quite like it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, it means there's no Monel.
Yeah, I mean, it would feel forced if suddenly she was in love with someone else.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think they're quite good at noticing when something is a bit wonky.
Yeah.
Like that the romance between her and James.
Yeah. I
think they backed away from that quite rapidly.
Absolutely.
Possibly because the audience went, ugh.
Yeah, not sure about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the bit at the beginning where her optimism blinded her to what was actually happening.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite realistic.
Absolutely.
She wanted to believe the hype, and she had the privilege of being welcomed by everyone in a way that many aliens clearly didn't.
Yeah.
And I thought that was an interesting twist. But yeah, I'm hoping it goes somewhere positive. But if they are trying to sort of mirror real life in some way, I'm pretty sure we're not going to finish the season with and everyone accepts the aliens and all skip around holding hands with no more problems ever.
Do you think there will be some sort of solution that allows everyone to be a bit more accepting and work together?
Well, I hope we get this worrying president out of role.
Okay.
I think I don't think there'll be some form of solution, but I think possibly by the end of the season there will be a more sympathetic leadership over approach, communications out to the country.
So the president is played by Bruce Boxleitner,
who
was the central character for Babylon 5. So he's a proper sci-fi actor.
I've never seen that. Is it worth me seeing it?
I haven't seen it either, actually. And he is the eponymous Tron.
Oh, is he?
From Tron.
Is he?
He is indeed.
Original Tron?
He is the Tron.
Wow.
Yes. I'm
surprised he didn't look older.
He's not directly a Trump allegory or equivalent, because he's not quite doing the same stuff, but also he is bending to what is the public will.
I see him as a representation of what is wrong with politics, rather than being a direct, comparison to Trump.
Right.
So
that's fair. Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And I think that's the right way for them to go, because otherwise people would say, "Oh, they're just having a go at the president," and you lose part of your audience at that point. There was a chance to make more of a message here.
Yeah.
Which brings us to Jimmy, because that's what James Olsen is doing. He is trying to play both sides to get more in with the Children of Liberty. And I've kind of appreciated seeing that not working.
I agree. I think Jimmy Olsen this season has been written as a very flawed character.
Yep.
In a very interesting way. He sort of is a little bit. I feel like he's believing his own hubris a bit too much.
Yep.
And he thinks that he knows best and he can do everything. There's no help. And it's that hubris that has led him into these situations where actually, if he'd been a little bit more cautious, he really shouldn't have gone.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, and had involved other people and not kept secrets.
Exactly.
Because there was the bit when Lena had the DA drop the charges on him. It's like, oh, they've forced a new secret in here.
Yeah.
We were actually on an even keel, and they've forced a situation where there's now a secret again. Didn't last too long, but I'm not sure where they're going with that relationship. And I suspect it will be tested more.
Well, I imagine so, with whatever weird, evil scientist genius concoction. I think she's going to end up injecting that rubbish into Manchester.
Okay.
By the end of the season.
Interesting.
When she said, "Oh, it's time for my first human test," I was like, "All right, are we now going to turn the human baddie goody baddie into a superpowered goody baddie?" And then this random dude turned up. I'm just like...
Okay, so you were expecting instead of Adam it would be...
It would be Manchester.
I thought Adam was going to be a thing. And it is, obviously in all these shows, it is still possible he's going to be. Because I thought the fact they were keeping his name from us, and it would turn out he is someone we know from the law in general. He is Hal Jordan or something. No, that would be too much. But you know what I mean? Someone that you go... Oh, and this is how that person got his powers or something. So
I think they were trying to give us a demonstration of Lena opening the lid on one of her emotional boxes that she spoke to Brainiac about, and then her mission allowing her to close the lid tightly and crack on and kill the dude.
Yeah.
Basically.
I was surprised they killed him.
For the greater good.
Yeah.
Lena's, she's not evil.
No.
But I would definitely say she makes some amoral, not necessarily immoral, but definitely amoral decisions for the greater good.
Yeah.
As do many of the world's best baddies.
I feel like this idea of giving human beings superpowers is a very bad idea.
Yes.
And I think the show wants us to think that.
It is not going to end well, or at least at the moment it does not appear that it's going to end well.
I mean, is the point of that so that Sam Witwer, who plays... Ben Lockwood gets to have proper fights with Supergirl at some point. Is that what they're basically working towards? Making the Children of Liberty actually superpowered and getting us back to the same situation we were in when they were fighting all the previous groups they fought.
Good call. That is not where my thoughts went at all. Because I was thinking Lena would keep control over this this scientific experiment, and I didn't see her giving it to Ben Lockwood.
Well, she's been saying... If we all had superpowers, it would
absolutely it would even things, the field.
So,
yeah. I must say, one just whilst we're on Lena's scientific machinations, what's the deal with Miss Tessmacher?
Eve Tessmacher.
Tessmacher. I'm like, she was a secretary. Now she seems to be a science assistant, and yet she gets precious little time in the plot or the story. I'm like, give the girl a role. Or don't give the girl a role. I'd like to see it. Like, she's clearly far more intelligent than she came across initially.
Yeah.
Are we going to get... I want more Tessmacher.
Is this why it's going to be a Luther thing? Because she was Lex Luthor's sidekick. So is that where...
Who knows?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I think there was definitely things coming that we're interested in.
Yeah.
So... I've got two other things on the list to talk about. I've got Alex as DEO director.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. Because I can't tell where this is going.
Okay.
Whether this is going to be a bad thing or a good thing. This lady. And also, she keeps reminding me of Amanda Waller. When she introduced herself, I'm like, oh, is that Amanda Waller? Are we in the right universe? What? But yeah, I she feels to me like she's not necessarily a bad person, but she feels very much like someone who's a career operative and knows how to get stuff done within a system that has bad politicians leading it in a way that Alex just goes straight from her heart,
absolutely,
and doesn't deal with the political machinations that being at that sort of level in an organisation is. So I flip-flopped the whole time.
Okay, and that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a well-written character.
What do you think? Do you think she's good or bad?
I feel like they are, through the president and through her, going to turn the DEO into an alien hunting...
Cadmus version 2?
No, like a version of ICE. Do I mean ICE? What's the group in the States that are rounding up all the immigrants? I feel like it might go to that place.
So more immigration and segregation camps and,
exactly.
and things like that. Oh, that's a bit dark.
If they follow, doing what's being done in America and other regions at the moment in the show, I feel like that's where they'll go. They want a government agency doing it, but a government agency that's separate from the real agencies, and that's the DEO. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I like you, it's very good because you don't know where she's going to come down. Where you would expect someone to shout at them, which we see in other shows, in this she's actually going, you made the right call, but, you need to step in line, this kind of thing. So, that's good. And then we come to Nia.
I like Nia.
Who is a very good addition to this show.
Nia.
A very good. And I think Brainy is a good addition.
He irritated me last season, if I'm honest.
I mean, a lot of last season irritated us. I think.
This is true.
I think this season, if we're going back to that general discussion, this is much improved.
I've enjoyed watching Brainy fit into the team. I can't remember what management consulting firm it does, but I sometimes talk about forming, storming, norming, and performing. Yep. It's very interesting watching. That's what they're doing.
Absolutely.
It's just like, I'm liking seeing him adjust to the team. I very much like Nia. One thing that confuses me is I'm sure I caught in one episode her describing herself as a trans woman.
Yes.
But then it's not been mentioned, and now she's an alien. I mean, there's no reason she can't be both.
Yeah.
But it just seems to have been a throwaway thing, and I'm just like, okay, well, did I hear that, or did I miss that? Get that wrong?
The actress is a trans actress.
Oh, okay, excellent.
So Nia is played by Nicole Maines, who was in the States one of the people involved in a court case because she was using women's toilets, and there was a complaint against her by, I think it was the grandfather of one of the students. Something like this. Okay. And it actually ended up going to court because she was being made to use the staff toilets.
Right.
And I think she or the family sued the school and the county, and it ended up winning.
Good.
And she has then left and become an actress.
Okay.
And she's solid.
She's excellent.
Really good. So that first episode where she was giving the speech about the issues she faced and going through all this, and I thought it was just going to be she's an alien and she appreciates this, and then they did something a bit different, so the speech worked in that moment and they haven't needed it since.
Yes,
it might be something if she and Brainy have a romance, it might, but it's not important to the character, to all the other plots that she gets involved in, so I appreciate it. It's good.
Yeah, no, I really like it. I really like her. I like the character. I mean, I always love an origin story. I love a film where someone's getting to learn how to use their powers. Right. So that ties straight into my liking. And it's a slightly different sort of power. And it's interesting that Brainy knows stuff about her, but can't say it.
Yes.
So that I'm finding fascinating.
And I don't know. I'll be interested on your judgment of this. Do you think it's going to be that he knows a descendant of hers, or he knows of her just through her legacy?
I'd assumed it was the latter.
Okay.
That she does something so momentous that she continued to be spoken of in history.
Okay.
That had been the assumption that I'd leapt to.
Right. And Brainy does know everything.
Yes.
So
yeah, if anyone's going to remember his history, it's Brainy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I really enjoyed... where is it? I liked her confidence. That first episode where she defended Brainy. I loved that confidence that she said, "My name is Nia Null. If you truly want to find me, you will." Just like, oh, I wish I was that good at flirting and self-confident.
And I like the callback to it. He says, "I did find you, but you didn't tell me what to do else, so I just found you."
That was good.
I like the writing of that. It's funny, but it's nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not creepy or aggressive or anything like that. So, no, I really like that. Have you got anything else that you wanted to raise?
There's one more plot, but we can come back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Are there any particular points you've enjoyed from the season or want to bring up?
There's just some odds and sods that I'd noticed down. That just nothing of any great import. Episode 1 really amused me how much they wanted to know that Superman is not here. He's not here, right? He's really, really not here. Like the number of times that in that first episode they flashed up Superman off-world.
Yeah.
And the president going, "Oh, Superman's off-world. He's on Argo," and stuff like that. I was like, okay, we get that. Yeah. Do you think he's coming back this season, or do you think it's just Superman is not here?
I don't know. I would suspect he's not coming back, and if someone is behind it, all this, they're doing it because Superman's off-world.
Yes.
Because Superman would find them and stop them, which is leaning in again to Lex Luthor. And it's reminding me a little bit of how the Justice League film was. You know, the Kryptonian's dead, there's no lanterns anymore, that Earth is undefended. It's got that vibe to it, which, I hadn't picked up on that, and that is actually quite nice. Yeah. I wonder if they'll return to it. I'm hoping they do, Neil, because I like the larger storytelling. Yeah. Yeah.
The other person who's not here that it amused me in that first off is, Sam's off in Metropolis, somehow managing to have it all, coaching soccer and being in a super high-powered corporate role. Yeah. I guess she's too busy to come back and visit them. She's doing that.
They've done all the stories they want to.
Yeah. That amused me.
On that first episode, let's talk the name of the doctor and the laboratory.
Yeah.
I have never in fiction come across a Vose. And they had a Dr. Vose who runs Vose Labs. It was very strange hearing it over and over again, and I do have I don't know whether I should be thinking this or not, but there's two Voses who do a podcast about this show, and they called a character Vose. I really, if anyone from the show listens to this and knows if it was actually used because of our podcast, do let us know, because that's awesome.
And if it wasn't, don't let us know.
Absolutely.
Because I'm enjoying living in the world where it was.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make me... It makes me feel like I should pull back from saying anything if there was... And to be fair, it's been a good season, so I don't have criticisms at this point.
But any season with a Vose in it is going to be good.
Absolutely.
Trivial point.
Go on.
Is coffee, super cheap in this world? Like their trainee journalist just randomly buys 1 million coffees at one point. I mean, why do people get each other coffee in this show so much? And I mean, how much do they get paid?
Well, stepping on from that even further, have you noticed how much they eat in this show? Every episode has a moment around a meal, which in some ways is good because people eat. But at the same time, there's a lot of food being partaken in this show. And it's not even like it's sponsored.
They do like pizza and ice cream. I mean, I like pizza and ice cream, but still.
Well, I started making a note of it, and now I can't find my notes on that. I'm sure somewhere I did start saying, they eat a lot in this show. But I did start making a note of, they're having pizza here, they're having pies. They had the pies at the carnival. She then made a pie the next one. They had the running thing of her trying to cook turkey for ages after Thanksgiving. Which I quite enjoy, which is true.
But why was she trying to reheat the turkey without the turkey even having been carved? What was all that about?
I don't know. Just for the pure comedy. Yeah. Right, I'll tell you the thing that third episode, the Ben Lockwood episode, as I was watching, I was thinking, this is interesting. There aren't many of our regulars in this. I wonder if they're planning the crossover or doing something big for the set up for the next one. Did you notice who wasn't in the episode after that?
I'm really bad at Kim's game.
Okay.
No.
Melissa Benoist.
No Supergirl.
Was in the episode in her Iron Man suit.
Oh.
So we had her headshots with the graphics over it, and then we had someone fighting in the suit.
Oh, of course, because she had that daft suit on for a while.
She did, didn't she?
And I must say, that whole kryptonite in the atmosphere, kryptonite not in the atmosphere, I'd completely forgotten about it, because it was such a non-story. I mean, like, for them to be able to do something so devastating so quickly, and then for them to be able to fix it so quickly, I'm just like, this is a bit of a daft plot MacGuffin.
She was in Beautiful, the Carole King story.
So what?
In theatre.
Oh, really?
She got the chance to do the role for a few months, so they appeared to have changed some of their filming around. So she presumably either did episodes late or did some and then went back.
Or got her body double to lie there in a mask whilst they put
all the stuff when it's
in the air.
all the stuff when it's someone else is clearly not her, because when she's fighting, she's got the mask on,
right,
and then she comes back for it. And
fair
that's
enough.
why they then had the episode where she's hardly in them.
And if you want to keep a really good actress in a never-ending TV series, I mean, I don't know if they've had renewals or not already, but it does feel like Supergirl is one that will run.
Yeah.
Then I guess you've got to let them do other things occasionally. Perhaps. Who knows?
Manchester. Actually, I said we were going to return to Manchester Black. So he's called Manchester. He has that accent, and he wears a Union Jack t-shirt.
Okay, he has that accent, although it's not as bad as his fiance's. I mean, what range of faux British accents was she going through?
Where is Manchester supposed to be from?
All right, governor. I don't know. It's not Manchester.
It's the broadest British accent ever. I don't know of a single British person called Manchester.
Do you know what? Well, no.
Right.
No. But also, he's an ex-football hooligan. I'm like, what? From the 70s?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's not really a modern representation of the British crime scene. Not in the way. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm sure there are still football hooligans, but that's not the sort of gang that someone would have been turned from.
Yeah. But yeah, they layer it on a bit heavily by calling him Manchester, and the accent, and the t-shirt that he has one t-shirt of. I don't know where they're going to go with Manchester, because he's killed people. Now, if he'd just beaten them up, I would have said, right, they're going to do a thing of turning him to the good, and he's going to become a bit grey, but he's going to be a useful person. I think he's done too much. And I feel a little bit the same way as what we're returning to about Lockwood, because he killed Fiona.
I think I agree. And I think I agree with on both counts. Like, Lockwood, certainly. Lockwood has descended too far. And I mean, I can see him pulling back from the abyss but ending up in prison. Right. That's where I can see. So I don't see him coming back and being pardoned, but I can see there potentially being some way that he's been pushed too far. Yeah. Or some way that actually he's being manipulated by some even bigger alien bad. Yeah. Or human bad. Or human bad. Yeah. I don't know with Manchester. I think John's continued interest in him makes me think somehow they're still going to try and reform him. The idea of making him an evil alien, I quite like that. I think somehow he's going to end up in Lena's clutches, being injected with whatever it is, and because he's got 2 kidneys, he survives it. Unlike Adam maybe. Or Neil or whatever it was called. But Fiona's British accents, even more than Manchester's British accents, made me think there are a lot of English actresses. There are. Could you not get one of those? There's a lot of videos if you want to go and practice your accent, you know. Although, am I going to look her up and find out that she actually is British now? Okay, the last plot that I want to talk about, if you're through your notes. Yep, I am. The last plot I want to talk about, Russian Supergirl. Yeah, when you said that in the opening, it did make me go, I think I missed something.
Right.
Yeah.
So have you seen So we ended last season. The cliffhanger of last season was a Supergirl turning up in Russia. Another Supergirl has been made through the time thing she had to do with Rain.
Oh yeah, where's she gone?
And we've seen her occasionally at the end of episodes, training and beating people up. And the end of the episode with the kryptonite in the air, they had a massive iron thing around her, so basically she couldn't move, but was trapped in this iron. And when the kryptonite was gone, they let her out again.
How did I miss this?
It's been the stinger at the very end of 3-4 episodes.
Is it after the credits?
No. Have you just utterly missed that they're doing these?
Utterly missed.
Okay.
Utterly missed it. I wonder if I just keep pressing go to the next episode.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. I literally had no idea what you're talking about.
The end of the season made it feel like, end of last season, made it feel like the Red Sun story.
Yes.
Would be done writ large as the Red Daughter story. So
Right.
I think we talked about it last time. It's there is a story of what if Superman had landed 8 hours later and landed in Russia and had grown up as a communist and what happens then. And
Yep.
it is one of the great Superman comic books.
Yep.
And it looks like they are going to do that with Supergirl, but we're 8 episodes in and it hasn't done anything yet. So I don't know if this is going to be
stingers that I've not noticed.
Yeah. But they have been so 30 seconds, just remind us this is a thing. But so lightly used. I'm like, is this season 5 stuff they're setting up?
No, I reckon. I mean, these are quite long seasons, aren't they?
True.
There's I think
22 episodes, something
yeah.
like that.
I mean, I feel like we are probably going to have 2 big plot arcs.
So the
in
kind
this
of the way
season.
S.H.I.E.L.D. has done it recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I imagine after the crossover, they'll start to circle down on some of the plots that are going on at the moment, and then bring up some other linked plots.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do first half of Legends, first half of Flash, the crossover, second part of the first half of all of the shows, and then into the second half of the shows.
Yeah,
So
and then so it'd probably be a good couple of months until we see more of Russian
possibly
Supergirl.
so.
I better keep my notes, is what I'm thinking.
I would agree.
Yeah.
So Arrow, shall I bring you up to speed? We said you are not going to watch Arrow for the moment. I'm going to tell
I am not.
I'm going to tell you what's happening on Arrow.
Yep.
And we're going to see if there's any point you should come back in.
Yep.
So
sounds
I've
like a
watched
plan.
the first 3 episodes of Arrow.
Yep.
Arrow's in prison. Felicity's in protective custody, protective witness, whatever it is. Witness protection.
Yep.
Thank you. With William.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else is going about their lives but aren't allowed to be vigilantes.
Okay.
Okay. Diaz tracks down Felicity
Yep.
and attacks her, but she manages to escape. At the same time as massive dudes in prison attack Oliver and tell him that Felicity's dead, but then he finds out she's not dead, so we're happy. William has been sent off to boarding school in Cambridge. I'm assuming like Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Is that like the safest
Cambridge,
place
New
in the
York?
world?
Well, whilst Felicity tries to hunt down Diaz, working with all the parties she can find.
Okay.
And Oliver is trying to find out more from the inside as well.
Right.
Okay. So we've then got Felicity trying to track down Diaz and now the Longbow Hunters, who are they're from the comics, they are amazingly good assassin criminal types.
Right.
Yeah. There's 3 of them. There was one sort of big kind of Viking type dude who has a massive shield with razor edges and is a big brawler, basically.
Okay.
There is Red Dart, who is a seductive woman who's charming and intelligent, who fires darts, and some of them can hack things and some of them can poison. It's kind of Hawkeye-esque.
Okay.
Yeah. And there is, I think they're calling her the Silencer, a woman who has a thing on her belt that when she presses it, all the sound goes out of the room.
Ooh.
And no sound is made. And we've had a couple of really impressive fights with her, where
Right.
she makes all the sound go and they fight in silence. You get like slight thuds and things.
Oh.
And particularly she's fought the 2 canaries.
I was about to say, she could be quite powerful
Yeah.
against the Canaries.
They were able to beat her when both of them blasted her. And
Right.
it just made it through her silent shield thing.
Right.
So we've had Diaz. I can't even remember what the thing he did in the second one was. Trying to steal a weapon from Argus.
Right.
And Argus trying to stop him. And John is now one of the heads of Argus. just under...
Oh, John Diggle.
Dinah, Lila, whatever her name was. Yes.
So we've got a married couple at the top of Argus.
Basically. But Argus say, they're not after Diaz, they're just after stopping the weapon being stolen. So he has to let Diaz go at one point. Then in the next round, Diaz trying to get some chemical thing that's been made by the CDC, which he does manage to get, but they manage to capture the silencer. And he injects himself with this stuff, and it appears that it will stop pain, or make it, when he feels pain, he gets super powerful or something. In prison, Oliver has found that there is a person who has contact with Diaz, but he's in the hyper maximum secure area.
Sorry.
So to get himself in there, he has gotten a shiv and stabbed a couple of guards.
Oh dear.
And he is now being sent down there. And when I say they captured the silencer, they didn't. It was the FBI and Argus working with Felicity and Wild Dog and the police and everyone trying to do this thing. Felicity sends Wild Dog after the silencer and then tells everyone else she got away. So there's only, I think, the two of them who know they have the silencer so far, which is quite interesting. Felicity possibly going to a slightly dark place, which I kind of appreciate.
I was about to say, Felicity for me has long been the one character I retain interested in the Arrow.
Yeah. Yeah, all the stuff with Wild Dog, because he's not sure if they should be doing... he wants to be out there protecting the streets, but he's not allowed to, and all this.
And he's got his daughter, hasn't he?
Yes, he's opened a boxing club, so we see her every so often there. Right. Training. The detective, Black Canary woman, is a captain, possibly.
Yep.
She's excellent. Every scene she's in, she makes better. Laurel is not good, but is not evil anymore. Or necessarily evil, but is also not the most interesting. The Diggles definitely are not that interesting, but they've not had too much so far. There is another Green Arrow.
Right.
Someone in the city posing as a Green Arrow, but we don't know what that story is, and they've not been in it for a couple of episodes. And we've had some flash forwards.
Oh?
In the future, William going to the island to find someone who's on the island because a thing that Felicity gave him that represented connections started beeping and had coordinates for the island on there, and he finds Roy on the island.
Roy
is on the island, so this is clearly a 10, 20 years later thing.
Right.
And they find a grave with all the other Queen graves on the island, and they find another grave that they uncover and has all of Oliver's kit in it, the Green Arrow kit. So I don't know whether they're setting up that William will become the Green Arrow or something.
And time jumps back with the Flash to now be running around? Who knows? So
I don't know where that's going. It's interesting, because presumably that will have to feed off whatever the major story is here. It makes me think they've gotten rid of William.
Yeah.
He's now out of the series, which I completely get. They kept forgetting him last season.
They kept every now and then trying to tease us that he was super intelligent and could be something interesting.
Yeah.
But yet he was also a weedy little boy, and Arrow is very much a thud, let's bash each other over the head type fighty superhero series.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure really quite how William fitted into that.
There is a hint this future might be basically what they did with Oliver Queen becoming the Green Arrow, now doing it again, something like that. But we'll see.
So far, I'm getting a feeling of continuing misery, continuing excessive convolution in the plot.
Yeah.
And that I'll let you carry on watching it.
Yeah. The FBI stuff's been interesting.
Yeah.
But the FBI woman, because she backed their play to try and get Diaz and it didn't come off, I think she's about to leave the show, or they're going to change her role some way in it. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, it's...
I like my superhero series with a much higher dose of levity than Arrow has.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a lot of... Everyone's a bit scattered at the moment and there's no cohesion. So we'll see what happens. I'll try and get another 3 episodes done for when we do the Legends.
Yeah.
So I'll keep you caught up.
Sounds good. Thank you, honey.
We will talk more about Legends next time.
Yep.
We'll see what happens there.
Yep.
And we'll loop back round to that setup for the crossover that we saw at the end of Supergirl.
Oh, yeah. What's all that then?
Yeah, 1990s Flash and Wizard with a Book.
And was he in Universe 90 or something like that?
Oh.
World 90.
Oh, was it? Oh, did they even have...
It said, my note says, ooh, we're going down in Earth 90. Which Flash is that?
And that's the 1990 series. That's the Flash and the look of the Flash from the... Oh, that's nice. Yeah, okay, I'll give them props for that. Great. Join us next time. We'll talk some Legends.
Excellent.
So that wraps us up for another week. If you have thoughts, questions, or comments, you can use the hashtag ATAV on Twitter, or you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as Eloquent Gushing. If you want to help support us, please check out our Patreon page where you can get access to exclusive content across all our shows. Go to patreon.com/eloquentgushing. And don't forget to visit the homepage, eloquentgushing.com, where you can find the other shows across the network and subscribe to our weekly newsletter with all the goings on. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you across the Arrowverse.
Across the Arrowverse is an Eloquent Gushing production. For more shows you'll love, please visit eloquentgushing.com.